Hello. We are back with some more Kakenuke. This time, we're doing Riri's route. Now, Kakenuke has been a hit and a miss. Shiori's route was pretty good, and Hibiki's route was pretty shit. But, they weren't exceptional in their own departments. Hibiki's wasn't so bad, it maybe dropped the game, and Shiori's wasn't so good. It makes up for the pitfalls of the common route. But because of the common route being as shit as it was, this game, it isn't good in my eyes. But let's hope Riri's route and the other girls' routes make up for my dislike of Kakenuke. And let's hope that they're at least on par and hopefully better than Shiori's route. So that's enough rambling on. Let's jump right into it. Kashima Riri. And now came the start of summer break. Despite this, I was in my uniform heading to the academy with Ritsu. As for why, well, that went without saying.
お兄ちゃん、きちんと決めてきた？夏休み、みんなで何をして青春するか。
Yeah, that's the general idea. The youth collective was hosting its first summer strategy session. I played off well enough, but it was an important meeting. Okay, so if Hibiki was the president of youth collective in her route, then Riri should be the president of the youth collective in this route, right? After all, today's decision would determine how we would spend our time together over the summer. Whether or not I could fully enjoy my youth was riding on this.
今までの分もがっちり青春しようね、お兄ちゃん。
Yeah, I completely agree. And to be honest, I had been brooding over one particular point. I wanted to enjoy my youth this summer, and I wanted it to be unlike any other summer that came before it. Although that's what I wanted. I didn't quite know what enjoying your youth entailed. I mean, your idea of enjoying your youth in Hibiki's route was working so you could make enough money to support your family and working more shifts over the summer break so that you can have more money. Shiori's route didn't really have that, right? And I hope that Riri's route follows that same path. How would you define youth in this context? Even after thinking it over, I still came up short. I did come up with a few activities that seemed like something a young person would engage in, but was that really youth? Let's hope that the ideas he's come up with aren't as cringe as I don't remember what he suggested in Hibiki's route. Something about fucking taxation. I don't know, learning about taxes and the stock market. Was having fun with everyone what you would call youth. I wonder if I'll have a better idea after today's meeting. Oh. The girl of the route. That was when Kashima ran over to us. Hey, Kashima.
どうもです、鹿島先輩。はい、おはようございます。
We raised a hand to greet her, and she politely returned the gesture. As always, she was the picture of elegance. Or perhaps I should call her courteous.
部室までご一緒してもいいですか?
She's definitely the one character out of all of them that have the air of a rich person. I don't know. They fit the vibe more than the other characters. excluding Ritsu and you because they aren't rich. Of course we can.
っていうか、そんなことわざわざ聞かなくても大丈夫ですよ。
でも、せっかくの兄弟水入らずの時間を邪魔してはいけないかもしれないって。特に遠野くんが、俺は今、愛しの妹と喋ってんだよ。邪魔するなってなったら。
Come on. How many times do I have to tell you? I don't have a sister complex. Well, maybe not in this route. Was the really necessary?
冗談。
Hold on. Why are you going Ritsu?
だってマイ兄にとって私は愛しの妹でしょ？
I mean, sure, but come on.
やっぱり今日も仲良しですね。
Well, we certainly don't have a bad relationship, because it would be kind of awkward to have a bad relationship in a visual novel where one of the routes is dating your sister. I mean, well, actually, it would make for an interesting story, right? If the start of the route is the little sister type character hating the main character, right? Because like it could go a lot of ways, right? It could either be like the sister doesn't actually hate the brother and she's going through like that sort of rebellious phase or whatever, right? Or, you know, she actually does hate him because of something he did, and something like that. I could only think of two examples. I'm not that smart.
ほんとしょうがないですよね。マイ兄は妹が好き好きで。
How long are you going to drag this out? I mean, I'm not surprised if there are visual novels like that. It's just clearly I haven't played them yet.
一生引っ張るつもりだよ。
You're telling me I have to dedicate my youth to my little sister? I mean, the closest you get is like Amane. Oh, the closest I got is Amane. But then, like, you know, he was the first type of the little sister that doesn't like the big brother type character, where she does like him, just she's tsundere about it.
今日の話し合いの意義なくなっちゃいますね。
ってわけで帰ろっか、お兄ちゃん。
What did we even come out here for?
まあ冗談はそれくらいにして。
That took forever.
鹿島先輩はどんな青春案考えてきました？
はい、そうですね。私は。
With that, the women walked side by side and engaged in idle chatter, which left me to trail behind them.
それいいですね。
Well, good thing Ritsu and Riri are getting along, so that Ritsu can start shipping Riri and you.
逆にりっちゃんはどんな感じですか？
ですね、私はまず。
They were coming up with a lot of ideas from the sound of it. They must have had a lot they wanted to do. Things I want to do. A concrete mental image of the youth they want to experience. I didn't have something like that. It would be more accurate to say I didn't really understand it. Was I overthinking it? Maybe I had no idea. Maybe I had too much of a one-track mind to wrap my head around this. Wrap my head around what youth meant. It had been a foreign concept to me up until recently. But you know, if that were true, then I really did need to make sense of it. I'm sure youth is beyond my grasp.
遠野くん。
That was when Kashima, who had spun around at some point, spoke up and brought me back to reality. What is it?
何をそんなに考え込んでいるんですか？
Well, just had something on my mind.
美少女二人の後ろ姿、麗しいな。とかじゃないの？
That wasn't it.
なんで？考え てよ。マイアニは妹と鹿島先輩が可愛くないって言うの？
That's not what I was saying at all. And wait, don't make comments that are hard to respond to.
だってお兄ちゃん、確かに今日なんか上の空だし。
I guess even Ritsu had noticed how out of it I was today.
リアクションさせたくなりますよね、鹿島先輩。
というか、何を考え込んでたのかが、私は気になっちゃいます。今日の議題、まだ思いついてなかったりとかですか？
No, it's nothing like that. Well, how can I put this?
話した方が意外と、スルッと答えが出てくるかもしれませんよ。私でよければ、聞きます。
Kashima excitedly extended that olive branch to me. It wasn't worth getting so worked up about, but if Kashima was going to be this outspoken, I guess I could talk to her about it some. Keeping it to myself hadn't given me the answers I was looking for, after all. This is probably gonna sound lame, but the more I think about it, the less sure I am.
はい。何をでしょう？
Practically speaking, what is youth?
はい？
Kashima shared a look with Ritsu.
それは...
I mean, I do sort of get an inkling of what I imagine it could be. That was why I had that outburst on the day the youth collective was founded.
はい。叫んでましたね。彼が俺の青春だって。
It was a bit embarrassing when she smiled so sweetly at me. But yeah, I would bear with that for now. I mean, it's a lot less embarrassing than the things that Hibiki put you through in her route. Yeah, but being told to enjoy my youth, I can't really wrap my head around what that actually means.
それは何をすれば青春なのかってことですか?
Yeah, that's it. I suddenly pitched forward at Kashima's clever interjection. That's exactly it. What specifically do I do to enjoy my youth? Kashima, do you know? I emphatically asked her.
それは...
For some reason, Kashima blushed bright red. Why was she so embarrassed?
鹿島先輩？
まあ、そうですね。
She regained her footing quickly enough, then cleared her throat. What was that about?
お気になさらず、ちょっと喉がいがらっぽかっただけですので。
夏風邪ですか？
いえ、そこまでではないです。とにかく、遠野くんはそれをずっと考え込んでしまってるわけですね。
Yeah, it is.
頭でっかちなマイ兄であった。
I'm aware of that. I can't help it though. It's a foreign concept as far as I'm concerned.
お兄ちゃん理屈から入るタイプでもあるしね。
Well, yeah, it's in my nature. I also get the feeling, though, that youth isn't something logical. It's something you feel.
ぐるぐるしちゃってるんだね。うんうん。それも青春だね。
Huh? Really? If that's true, then this is all making less sense to me by the second.
だったら、
Then Kashima,
私が、教えましょうか、なんて。
why are you looking at him like that when you say that? What are you gonna teach him exactly? Timidly said that to me. Huh? Do you mean... Kashima, are you gonna teach me the meaning of youth?
はい。もちろん、遠野くんが良ければですけど。
Why would I want to? Why wouldn't I want to? I'd really appreciate the help. So, to ask once and for all, can you tell me what youth is. But before I could finish my sentence,
じゃあ、私は今日から師匠の師匠になります。
Kashima clenched her fist at me. Huh?
今日から遠野くんに青春とはどういうものかを教えていきますから。私についてきてください。
And maybe also teach him a bit about the birds and the bees on the side. What? Sure. There was nothing to do but agree nothing to do but agree in the face of such enthusiasm.
ありがとうございます。それじゃあまずは今日の会議ですね。見ていてくださいね、遠野くん。では、急ぎましょう。
待ってくださいよ、鹿島先輩。
Kashima jogged off ahead of us. Yeah, stop being embarrassed. It makes it sound. It makes it look weird when you talk about teaching him stuff about youth. Did that mean it wasn't something she could explain in a few words? I see. That's what it's like. Well then. For today, I would pay attention to how Kashima conducted herself. With that thought in my mind, I picked up the pace and followed after Kashima and my sister. Off the bat, probably already off to a better start than Hibiki's route. But, you know, that's initial thoughts.
第1回青春部夏休み計画会議。
With Hibiki's proclamation, everyone who had gathered broke into natural applause.
やー、どうもどうも。
Wait a second. Why are you making this announcement?
あんたがやるより私がやった方が気持ちよさそうだったからよ。
Why better than from me?
部長の言うの代理をしてあげたのよ。
Hold on a second. Hijiri's the president.
だからなんで自分なんすか。
Because it's funny.
まあ待って。その話は収拾がつかなくなるからやめておかない？
そうね、それが良さそう。いずれは私が部長になるとして、当面はなし崩しにどっちかがやってくれてもいいし。
今、聞き逃せない発言があったんすけど。
Which one am I saying? I can't just let that slide. Let's go with the shorter one.
まったくだ。俺としてはぜひユウにお願いしたいところだし、だからなし崩し的に聖になるのは勘弁してほしい。
Fine. Let's just formally decisively give Hijiri the. Let's just formally decisively give Hijiri the job. Weird sentence.
なんでそうなるんすか。
まあまあ、今日は部長決定会議じゃないんだし。誰が部長だろうと、響ちゃんが仕切るのには変わりなさそうだしね。
すでにそうなってます。
ねえ。
True enough. Except for the fact that she was not the president and she always route. I don't know why I said it that way. I guess we don't have to care so much then.
そうっすね。建設的に行きましょう。建設的に。
ってわけで改めて、早速、夏休みに何をしたいか話し合いましょう。
Everyone agreed with Hibiki's suggestion. In doing so, Hibiki flashed a bright amused grin.
私はね、いっぱい考えてきたから。例えば、
はい。では、提案があります。
Just as she was about to make her announcement, Kashima interjected and caused Hibiki to stumble over her words. But Kashima paid her no mind, stood up and looked around at everyone.
青春部なんですから、青春を満喫するのが我々の活動です。そういうわけでまずは、みんなで街に繰り出して遊びませんか？
I was gonna say I feel like Riri's gonna object to Hibiki being the proxy president, but it seems that she's just trying to play the role.
私も考えて
Hibiki wasn't discouraged.
た。ゲーセン行ったり、カラオケ行ったりしましょう。鉄板ね、その辺は。でしょでしょ、それで。ゲームセンターでプリを取るのも欠かせないはずです。ああ、確かに。
Hibiki had her enthusiasm thrown off kilter as Kashima jumped in again. Is it too early to be satisfied that Hibiki is finally on the back foot in one of these interactions?
っていうか、カラオケでは各自最低1回は歌うこと。点数がつくんですよね。じゃあみんなで大会にしましょう。1位を取った人は、その後のファミレスの代金がみんなのおごりになる。どうですか？
それ楽しそうね、しおりちゃん。
リツがそう言うなら。ですよね。では、それで行きましょう。うんうん、いい感じね。もちろんそれだけじゃ足りません。夏ならではのこともしないと。というわけで、夏祭りのお手伝いなんかもしてみませんか？
And so when yeah, they can help out at the summer festival, and then Riri can confess to you at the same summer festival.
おお、元ボランティア部部長っぽい意見が来たな。
夏祭りなら普通に参加でも。お手伝いして達成感を味わう青春ですよね。そうね。ではそれも採用ということでいいですか、皆さん。もちろんすべて参加できる人が参加するという形で、強制は良くないですからね。依存ないわ。
同感。
文句なしっす。
最初にそう明言してもらえるのはありがたいな。昨日みたいなイベントだと俺はきついし、次があったら参加辞退したいし。
じゃあ向こう10日ほどはその2つを軸にしていきましょう。決まりですね。ちょっと待って。はい、何ですか、小日向さん。私が言いたかったことが全部潰された。他にも映画とか花火とか深夜徘徊とかいろいろ考えてたのに。
Late night hangouts? Late night hangouts are obviously out of the question.
夏なんだからそれくらいかっ飛ばさないとダメでしょ。
Speaking of, they never actually went to the fucking beach in her route. Speaking of late night hangouts, I mean,
部活動なんですから、そのあたりは節度が必要です。ですが、映画や花火はいいですね。私も賛成です。では、そのあたりも適時組み込んでいきましょう。またなんか私の発言が持ってかれた。この子がこんな熱心に来るとは。
Hibiki was grinding her teeth, but to tell the truth, I was also pretty surprised. Given how things had started off, I figured Hibiki would be the one running the show today. Well, she's got some impressing to do. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. I never thought Kashima would be this outspoken.
他には皆さん何かありますか？
私が考えてきたのは、
買い物とかにも行きたいかしらね。家でおとなしくもしてたいですが。
緩急は大事だよな、緩急は。
はい、私にも言わせて。まだ青はあるから。私も青はまだまだあります。でも今は青をあげておくだけにしておいた方が良さそうですね。明日は明日として、あさって早速夏祭りの実行委員会さんとお話をしに行きましょう。そこでの決定事項次第でしばらくの動き方が変わってくるでしょうからね。おお、そうなるわね。 ゆう、あんたもなんか言いなさいよ。
One second. As far as swimming in the ocean goes,
いいですね。では、まとめておきましょう。司会、進行役、完全に持ってかれてる。
you wanted to do this, huh? Given how things were progressing, it sounded like it was best to leave this in Kashima's hands. She was just as experienced at this as I would expect from the former volunteer collective president.
まあ、こうなったら仕方ないわ。それじゃあ、とりあえず明日は街遊びフルコースですね。で、あさっては打ち合わせで。決定。よし、最後に取り返したわ。
You sure you didn't just want to shout something?
青春は叫びよ。
What?
そういう一面もあります。
Is it really?
では、明日の集合時間と場所を決めましょうか。ああ、またまとめ役持っていかれた気が。
With that, Kashima had assumed a leadership role during today's meeting. Because here's the thing, right? Even in Shiori's route, because both Shiori and you are introverts, Hibiki was still the proxy president, right? Even though Shiori and you were vice president and president, respectively, in name. Kashima politely took in proposals as they came in, and occasionally made implicit commentary toward me. See, she's trying to impress you, I think.
すごかったね、今日の鹿島先輩。
After we got home, Ritsu made that comment while she was preparing dinner. For sure, I never expected she could assert herself like that and overpower someone like Hibiki, all while successfully bringing everyone together.
お兄ちゃんの青春の師匠になるって宣言しただけあったね。
Is that really what that was all about?
他になくない？
You might have a point. The more I thought about it, how could I put this? The more I admired her. She had gotten that zealous. Also, she could teach me what youth was like.
なんであそこまでやる気なのかは正直よくわからないけど。
Probably because she's the kind of person.
お兄ちゃんをほっとけないっていうのはなんかわかるかも。それに鹿島先輩真面目だしね。
Sure is. I had been a bit shocked by her enthusiasm, but I was nothing short of grateful if she really had done all that for my sake. I would be her grateful student starting tomorrow. Where Kashima is concerned, and tomorrow is probably where we'll get into the real deal. Oh my god. So fucking pink. That night, I hugged my pillow in my room and bashfully rolled all around. After all,
今日の私、ちょっと積極的すぎたかも。遠野くんに惹かれちゃったかも。
I mean, to be fair, right, Riri is... It's hard to say if she's also introverted, right? She's... You know, she's used to the leadership role, especially since she was the class president, right? And also the president of the volunteer collective. But like, you know, in front of Hibiki, you can't be... It's hard to be more extroverted, I guess. More assertive. I wanted to teach him what youth meant. And I had not just been outspoken about it this morning. Weird way of phrasing it, but I guess I've been so openly enthusiastic that it drove Kohinata away, even after the meeting let out. This was not like me. Tona definitely thought I was weird for it. I mean, it's certainly not a good precedent to set if you're trying to date him. The very thought made my face flare up non-stop. I mean, maybe she isn't trying to date him at the moment, but, you know, she will soon. I could not help but do somersaults in my bed. But...
でも、遠野くんが青春に対して前向きで、あんなこと聞かれたら、考えちゃうに決まってますよ。具体的に何をすれば青春なのか、そんなの、男女交際とか。
saying it out loud it made me all the more embarrassed.
鹿島リリー、それは先走りすぎだから。
I buried my face into my pillow and flapped my legs around. But those feet sunk into the bed soon enough. This was embarrassing. I was embarrassed, but...
でも、もしそういう青春、遠野くんとできたら。
My gaze fell into my bedside. There was a beautifully wrapped box, which had been sitting there idly since February. Oh, why is it still there?
そういう中になれたら。
Okay, yeah, so I was right. Maybe it isn't a good idea to change up your personality so suddenly if you're trying to pursue him romantically. Just like out of my dreams. What if this summer I got to share the feelings I had kept hidden away. Picturing it really did embarrass me, and I ended up rolling all over again, and then falling off the bed. I'd do my best starting tomorrow. No matter how embarrassed I may get. If I wanted to make this summer special, then...
頑張ってもいいですよね、遠野くん。駆け抜け青春スパーキング。おはようございます。
10 a.m. the next day. Everyone else had gathered together by the time I arrived at our meeting place in front of the station. Yeah, morning, Kashima. You're here awfully early.
私たちが早いんじゃなくて、あんたたちが遅いの。
Huh? But isn't the time we agreed on? Isn't this the time we agreed on? I don't know.
そこは少し早めに来ておくのが基本でしょ。
Yeah, she was right. I guess unlike work, I was too laid back about it.
ナギの言う通りよ。私なんか1時間前には来てたもの。いても立ってもいられなくて家を飛び出しちゃうのが普通でしょ。響はそうよね。だから私も早く来たの。で、ついでに柊にも連絡しておいて。カイドウ先輩が早く来いというので来ました。みんなそんな感じだろうって気がしたので、自分も早めに来たっすよ。
そもそも待たせるのは落ち着かないしな。早めに来ておくに限る。
ほら、こういうものよ。これからみんなで遊ぶとなったら1時間前に来ておくのが基本。オッケー？
Wait, hold on. That's excessive.
私は早めに出ようって言ったのにな。
Yeah, you did. Sorry. I didn't think it was a big deal since this wasn't something work-related, but that had apparently been wrong.
まあでも遅刻じゃないわけですし、避難したらかわいそうですよ。
Kashima came to my rescue in order to calm the others down. It's something that Hiruki never did. Just as I thought that, Kashima pointed a sweet smile my way.
それに待ってる間も楽しかったじゃないですか。まあ確かにね。 なんか盛り上がっちゃったわよね。
Wow. What did you talk about?
それは内緒。こういうのもあるから早くに来ていた方が得なんですよ。
Alright. Fine. Have your FOMO. Fuck you. So there was a trick of sorts to enjoying youth to the fullest. Enjoying? I don't know what they're trying to go with, where they're trying to go with this sentence.
次は早く出ようね、お兄ちゃん。
Yeah, it would suck if we were left out of the loop.
と、ユウが学習したところで、改めて全員集合ね。それじゃあ早速、今日の一発目、行ってみましょう。
Everyone cheered, yeah, in chorus to Hibiki's shout. But like, why didn't everyone cheer, yeah? You know, whenever anyone would scream Kazumi Academy, and then the response would be Seishun Sparking, right? Where's the yeah? Why isn't everyone saying yeah? Did they not have a voice line for it? They could just take it from somewhere else. In a change from the ordinary, we had all met up in our street clothes and shouted out loud as a group. It was strange how much fun I was having despite how little we'd actually done. Would you say it lifted my spirits? Or that it had gotten exciting? I'm sure this is the sort of thing I can only do at this point in my life. I'd likely be saddled with all sorts of obligations once I was an independent adult. I mean, the problem is you're already saddled with those sorts of obligations now. Perhaps having that thought was what made this one form of youth. Afterward, we bounced around from the arcade to karaoke. We competed for points at karaoke, which generated laughs and admiration at the singing voices we'd naturally never get the chance to hear. Everyone dined in at the karaoke joint. It was pricey, but we got to eat and sing along together at the same time.
ちょっとユウ、あんたも歌いなさいよ。しばらく歌ってないじゃない。じゃあ、私とデュエットしませんか?
Damn. Well, damn. Well, Riri, it hasn't even already? I mean, I understand that you've already said to the audience that you like you, but like, you know, not even Hibiki was this assertive in her romantic feelings for you. Well, assertive in the group, you know. Oh, can I? Well...
私もマイアニと一緒に歌う。
じゃあ自分もそういうことなら私もね。ほらほら、何も。響がそう言うなら仕方ないわね。じゃあ、ほら柊も。カイドウ先輩がそう言うなら。
よし、なら俺はハモリパート任せとけ。
Hey, this is turning into a chorus with everyone. Well, there goes Riri's plan. With all that said and done, we spent a long time at karaoke and everyone had a blast. And that led us to afterward. We all settled in around a large table at the restaurant and had a wrap-up party over tea. It was obviously my workplace, but I wasn't scheduled to work today. I felt kind of bad for my manager and co-workers that we wound up coming here in the course of our fun outing.
いいんだよ、遠野くん。
I made it sound like there was more to the sentence, but there was not.
たまにはこういう日があってもいいよね。
Manager.
今日の分はシフト入った時に 働きで取り返してもらうからね。
Manager, hang on, what did he say? I'll put you to work to make up for today. Ah, I see. The manager is the complete opposite as in Hibiki's route. Or so we discussed with our eyes, but hey, I would try to forget about that for now. You know, in this route, the manager is trying to get you to work more shifts to make up for this. In Hibiki's route, the manager actively took away shifts from you so that he could enjoy his quote-unquote youth.
見てこのプレッカ、お兄ちゃん超半目になっちゃってるよ。
あ、ほんとっすね。涅槃の表情っす。
It's not like I can help it. I'm not used to taking these.
だったらこれからどんどん取って取り慣れていくしかないわね。
Look, it's a lot better than Ritsu having photos of Yu's sleeping face. All right, in a whole album.
また行きましょうね、遠野くん。
Huh? You sure? We went once already.
何回行ったっていいと思います。一回行ったらもう二度と行けないなんて決まりはないわよ、遠野。
っていうか、そう考えるのがお兄ちゃんだよね。
だが、そういう優が嫌いじゃないぜ。
うわ、また始まった。
これだから無言坂先輩は。
坂しか合ってねえよ。あとその言い間違い、俺に黙れって言ってるみたいに聞こえるよ。
通じたみたいっすね。
ぶっちゃけすぎだろ、お前。
Everyone erupted into a fit of laughter. It seemed like there was way more excitement ahead of us.
力いっぱい遊んで、その後はこうして涼しいファミレスでみんなで食べる。これこそ夏休みの特権ってところじゃない？そうでしょう、ユウ。
With that, Hibiki turned the conversation over to me with a beaming smile.
今日はまさに青春を謳歌してるって感じよね。
Yeah, it does. I agreed. Today had been fun. The thought, this is youth, had occurred to me here and there. However, is this all there is to youth? Here's the thing, right? The problem that Yu is facing is that he's trying to quantify what youth as a concept actually is. But it's not this one uniform thing where it's like this thing is youth, but like this other thing can't be youth. It's like it's not this like set in stone thing. And all that, right? And I mean, like, yeah, I guess you could make the argument that, oh, you working a lot of shifts at his job isn't considered youth and whatever the fuck, right? And like, you have a point there, and that's the entire point. That's the entire point that this game is trying to shove down your fucking throat. That you constantly working to make ends meet isn't considered youth. Right, but like, you know, other than that, my point still stands. That thought crept in at the same time. Yes, if all youth meant was to have fun, then I could do that on my own, on my day off. Well, you know, playing games by yourself can be considered fun, right? So then that would be considered youth, but you definitely doesn't come across as someone who plays games. So when I asked myself, was today a uniquely youth-filled day?
って何考え込んでるのよ、ユウ。
Oh, nah, never mind.
ならいいわ。さて、私はもう一杯飲み物汲んでこようっと。
Well, that was that. Hibiki wasn't the type to pry, after all. On the other hand,
遠野くん。
suddenly Kashima whispered into my ear.
ひょっとして 春なのかとか考えていませんか？
You saw through me, huh, Kashima? Well, it was probably because of the conversation we'd had yesterday. You're actually right. I thought, was today a uniquely youth-filled day? And that if it only means to have fun, I could do that on my day off.
そうは言っても遠野くん、普段は遊ばない人じゃないですか。
Normally, or rather until now, since I had basically always worked over vacations, anytime I wasn't, I had either wandered around town alone or had been studying.
そう。それですよ、きっと。遊び慣れてないからです。もっと遊べば分かってきますよ。
Is that how it works?
すみません。出過ぎた真似を。
Nah, thank you. It was enlightening. And it's kind of hot for you to be assertive. What? I didn't say that. How about that? It would make more sense once I had more fun. Around the time the sun began to set.
それじゃあみんな、今日はお疲れ様。また明日ね。
On Hibiki's command, we dispersed for the day. Yeah, see you later.
失礼します。
Ritsu and I had made our way back home after waving the others off.
今日は楽しかったね、お兄ちゃん。
Yeah. That was the first time I'd had fun going around the local area.
まだまだ遊ぶところはたくさんあるよ。今日一日くらいで悟ったと思われちゃ困りますな、お兄さん。
You make yourself sound like a real know-it-all. We gabbed for some time, and just as we were about to turn the corner.
遠野くん。
I turned around to find Kashima chasing after us and waving her hand from side to side.
追いつきました。
What's up, Kashima?
いえ、よかったらなんですけど、もう少し話していきませんか？
I decided to take her up on her offer. As your apprentice, I can't exactly say no. Or rather, that is the sort of conversation you want to have, right?
ええ、まあ。
We bought some drinks on the way back and migrated to the coast. The sun was just about to go down. The ocean was beautiful as it shone in the sunset. A perfect location to chat about youth, to be sure.
りっちゃんには先に帰ってもらっちゃったの、ちょっと申し訳ない気もしますけど。
Oh, don't worry about that. I've been hoping to have a one-on-one talk with Kashima anyway. Ritsu offered to go on ahead without me. She was probably home by now and was likely preparing dinner or something. So, why don't we have a seat? I took a seat at a desk of sorts in front of the beach.
はい、そうですね。
Kashima spread out a handkerchief and sat on top of it.
何か変でしたか？
No, the way you set out a handkerchief before you sat down it made me think, I see. She really is a high-class girl.
これはごめんなさい。癖でつい。変ですよね。別に汚れてもいないのに。
No, it's fine, if you ask me. It suits you. There weren't many people these days who would do something so refined.
そうですか？
So, you wanted to talk, Master?
はい。はい。
Now it's you calling her master instead of the other way around. I drew attention to her while I opened up a bottled drink, and Kashima straightened her back. She seemed to be at a loss for words, if only briefly.
遠野くん、今日はどうでした？
She posed that ambiguous question. I mean, it was fun.
そうですか。それなら良かったですけど。
Yeah, it was nice getting riled up like that. Well, like that with everyone.
はい、そうですね。それは間違いないんですけど、それだけじゃなくて、なんと言いますか。例えば、みんなじゃなくて、特定の誰かのことが気になったりはしました？
Like I said, Riri is laying it on thick. What? Huh? Like who?
いえ、特に深い意味はないんですけど、いつも隣に私いましたよね。
Yeah. Now that you mention it, you were. Kashima had been the one beside me when we met up for photo club at karaoke, and while we were at the restaurant. That had to be. That was a move you made as my master in youth, huh? Thank you. Well, ever the dense protagonist, you know? She had dropped hints in my direction throughout the day. Yeah, hints that she likes you, not hints of youth. What do you mean? When I looked back on it, I couldn't help but bow to her to show her my gratitude. However, she looked rather troubled by it. Huh? Why are you making that face?
いえ、青春らしいとは感じませんでしたか？
Having you there beside me?
はい。
This hadn't quite clicked with me. Or rather, I'm sorry. What are you trying to say, Kashima?
通じませんでしたか？
Listen, Riri. Beating around the bush isn't the kind of thing you want to do with you. Especially since he's the protagonist of a visual novel. I'm really sorry. What can I say? I'm new to this.
いえ、そうは思いませんけど、遠野くんはもっと心の余裕を持つべきです。
She said with a pout. A laid-back attitude. That's easy for you to say, but how would I even go about it? I knew I had tunnel vision, but that was just in my nature. What she said was right, though. My life was anything but laid back. It had become a habit to me, and I knew it was something I needed to work on. What in the world could I do to fix that part of me? While I sat and brooded over the idea.
すみません。ちょっと傲慢な言い方だったかも。
Kashima shrunk herself up in place and apologized. Nah, don't apologize. I appreciate you pointing things out to me. Lots of people had said something similar to me in the past. And nobody though had said it as cordially as Kashima. I really did appreciate it.
遠野くん。
What is it, Kashima?
いえ、明日も一緒に遊びましょうね。
She declared with a clenched fist, but weren't we going to help prepare for the summer festival starting tomorrow?
そうで した。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。
It's okay, really. Well, I'm looking forward to working together in all sorts of ways from tomorrow on, Kashima.
はい。
I said goodbye to Kashima. And we both made our way home. Man, I really was grateful. Grateful that she would talk me through my worries like this. It made me hope I would come to understand youth somewhere inside of me sooner than later. Hopefully you understand romance as well. That night, I spent the remainder of the evening hugging my pillow and rolling around my bed out of embarrassment. After all,
私、また勇み足を踏んじゃったような気が。わざわざ遠野くんを呼び止めて、二人で話したってだけじゃなくて、今日私のことを少しでも意識してくれましたみたいなこと聞いて。
embarrassing. My face was on fire just by thinking about it, and I couldn't help but roll around as I screamed. But
二人だけで夕焼けの海を見ながら話せたの。嬉しかった。すっごく青春って感じ。した遠野くんも少しでもそう思ってくれてたら。
my face grew hot due to a different implication than earlier, and I yelled and rolled around all over again. But based on the conversation, he did not seem to have felt that way.
遠野くん。でも、めげちゃダメです、リリー。明日からも、頑張らないと。
If I dreamed of spending my youth with him, if I wanted to make that dream come true this summer, then
まだまだ、頑張っていい、ですよね。遠野。